Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be providing a longer term market update for Harmony One, which over the last few weeks has started to correct back down. It's pulling back here, coming close to the 20-week simple moving average, which is the blue line on this chart. Currently that sits at around 1.75 cents. And this is the first major level to be watching out for as support, mainly because during the bear market, we did see this as resistance. In fact, back here in October, we rejected off this level right around 2.2 cents, and then that was just the last move performing the lows back here in December. So the fact that we are back above the moving average does have the potential to flip it into support. So definitely watch out to that level in the next few weeks as our first major target that we could look to as support. And then beyond that, we also do have some more support in this general range from 1.45 to 1.62 cents. And if I zoom out, you can see these two levels have been very significant over the years. This level around 1.45 cents was the high back here in 2020. This was a major point of resistance where Harmony One rejected again in August of 2020, where from this point, Harmony One continued to retrace by about 76% in just the next following 20 weeks. So we know this was previously a very strong level of resistance. And then when we did get that breakout in the bull run, that led to a new all-time high and a very impressive rally, just confirming this level as a major breakout point. We also saw that as basically the floor of support from back in the summer of 2022. First bounce right here on the capitulation in June, and then just holding that level as support many times up until the breakout that we saw in November following the FTX crash. So that is a major zone that we can look to, where if we're starting to break that back down below the 20-week moving average, that's the next level that we could look to for some sort of reversal. And if Harmony One is able to have that continue to pull back followed by a reversal, so just as an illustration, something like this, where it does start to have a move coming out, recovering from this, that would be a very bullish sign because it would give us the setup for a higher low. And that's especially something I'm going to be watching out for into next few months, because that is not something that we have seen yet on this weekly chart. And that is one of the major things that characterizes an uptrend. And that's exactly what I want to see into the next few months. Some sort of move coming back down, holding support well and comfortably above the lows back here in December. If we can get something like this, then we really start to have that momentum working in our favor, and we would have the trend very much defined here, where we could look to that as some sort of rising level of demand. So that is what I will be watching out for into the next few months with Harmony One, either if we can hold support and a higher low at the 20-week moving average, or this general range that we know was previous support and resistance over the years. With the Harmony One Bitcoin ratio, this is a little bit more bearish because it has already started to lose that very key level. You can see the highs from back here in 2020 were all the way up around this valuation at 123 Satoshis, and we never even broke back above that level. In fact, it was resistance on this leg up here in August, and it was also resistance here in February. So definitely a little bit weaker on its Bitcoin valuation. And in fact, it has already broken below that summer range, that summer support, which was around 88 Satoshis. So that was the capitulation that we had in June, coming back down, holding this as support for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then eventually we did get that breakdown in November following the FTX crash, flipped it into resistance. We did see the reclaim, but again, we're starting to break back below this. And if I zoom in here very quickly, you can see we've actually had this weekly candle fully below that region of support. We've also lost the 20-week moving average. So this obviously looks a lot more bearish here, and that would just mean that Harmony One is most likely going to continue to underperform Bitcoin. So while this chart could very well come back down and retest the lows from December, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Harmony One USD pair has to be bearish. It could just mean that maybe Harmony One is moving up at a rate slower than Bitcoin. And that is one of the reasons that this could move down. Of course, it could be many other ways. If Harmony One is moving down faster than Bitcoin, if Harmony One is moving sideways while Bitcoin is moving up, all those are reasons where we'd start to see the Harmony One Bitcoin ratio start to decline here. But again, that doesn't necessarily have to be very bearish for the Harmony One price. It could just mean that we have that underperformance with respect to Bitcoin. And I really would expect that, given that we have started to lose the support And when I zoom out here, the next logical level that we could start to look to would again be the December lows. If I take a measured move, that would be about 30% lower. So obviously a pretty significant drop, but that is to be expected now that we're losing support. We're below the 20-week average. And in fact, this move from January up until late February is now looking like a pretty significant deviation, a pretty significant fake out, where if this was to be bullish, then we would have seen these levels slip into support and we would have started to have a new uptrend with a higher low in this region. So that would have looked something like this, and we would have looked for a higher high breaking above resistance. But of course that has not happened, and the bearish view is starting to look a lot more likely, just given that we haven't seen that. We're starting to break down and lose these support levels. So just watch out to that. Look out for some underperformance. Not necessarily a bearish thing, but most likely not going to be seeing as good of returns as Bitcoin. So I hope you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis, and as always, I will see you in the next one.